Hi everybody, welcome to your practicum, MIT 885. I wanted to make you a quick tutorial, a little bit of a tour of your ePortfolio so you could get around and kind of know where everything is, as well as some of the expectations as you go through this process. Your portfolio should look similar to mine. Your name will be at the top, auto-filled, using a free tool called Site Maestro. It's how you can distribute sites fairly quickly in mass quantities with names and emails. So that is done for you. Within this template, you'll notice that there's general information. All the directions are given to you. Just how does this site function? That's what this statement is. Along the way, all of the directions are given to you as far as how to function in Google Sites. You're not left to fend for yourself as far as how do I function in Sites, how does it work, how do I do different things. Most of the directions are given there for you. And that's one less, I believe, way to relieve stress. So when you go into general information, you'll see this video tutorial that I'm actually making at this point. So that will be updated. I believe this is an older copy. Within this, you're also going to have an introduction to the MIT, and it's going to be talking about this importance of a practicum electronic portfolio, or a PeP. I just call it an e-portfolio. And it's just giving the rationale for why we find this to be important and how it can be used in the future, but the process that you go through as you create this portfolio. The ISTE standards are here, and one comment I would like to make about the ISTE standards is, depending on where you see yourself, I don't mind if you use ISTE T or ISTE C. So T would be for teachers, and ISTE for coaches would be -C. Just make sure if you're going to use the teaching ISTE standards that you document it -T or -C for coaches. The reason some people may choose to use ISTE-T for teachers is that they don't see themselves really leaving the classroom. They see themselves maybe facilitating technology more inside their classroom or their cadre of teachers, or maybe they're going to step up with some leadership inside their district or within their school building, but they're not actually leaving the classroom. So I think it's fundamental that you choose the standards that best suit you and the role that you see yourself playing professionally within the next 3 to 5 years. Just that you know that they're out there. That's really what's most important when it comes to the coaches. Lastly, here's a rationale for the entire process. And believe me, I know as you read through this, you'll be like, yeah, that sounds great. I think all of these would be very valid applications when you're done with this process. It really is a process, and I think that you'll see how this process becomes full circle as you go through it. Moving on to candidate info, I also want to tell you, make sure you click on candidate info. It's not just these drop downs. There's actually a page for candidate info. In this candidate info area, again, it's telling you here, enter your personal information, introduction. You're going to list personal and professional goals. You're going to scroll down, make sure you input a picture of yourself, and then you're also going to start writing down some of your goals for 2, 5, and 10 years out. Within this area, I'm probably going to add a specific area where you've put your initial reflection, and I'll go over that in just a little bit. So this is where we'll probably put that information. With the candidate information, you also have your tech philosophy. And again, it shows you exactly how to write a tech philosophy. I think personally, the shorter the better. A tech philosophy definitely should just be a couple small paragraphs. I've seen them a page long, depends on if you're double spacing, how you space, etc. It doesn't need to be something long and drawn out, and it needs to be really global in nature, but I think it also needs to be very personal, and as far as what you personally and firmly believe in. The resume, I have given you a little bit of instruction on your resume within the syllabus and the course outline as far as how you should order the information on your resume, and you can locate that information again in the syllabus/course outline. The evidence, there's a professional development plan that you're going to develop. There's presentations. Remember, presentations are things that you've done potentially in other classes, or maybe for this class. Maybe the presentation goes along with your training and you're going to drop that in here. This really can be in any format, mode, modality. It could be slides, it could be Powtoon, it could be something from a class you're taking this semester, you took last semester, that you're really proud of and you want to highlight. I've seen a lot of people, again, put the presentations that they're using to do their training inside these areas. It does ask that you insert 3, but you're no way limited to 3. 3 to 5 is a great way to highlight some of the work that you've done. The videos that you'll be providing for training, remember you're going to come up with one for a peer, one for students, and then your choice. The peer literally could be a group of teachers. It could be one-on-one. Maybe you're setting with a peer or colleague that you want to teach, and students. I always have that question. Make sure you have a release to have your students on camera, and if you do not know if you have a release, it is fine just to record them from the back of the room. Remember, this is contained right now in a private site where only myself, yourself, and a couple other faculty members see it, but if you were to publish this, it would go, it would be a public site and then other people would see it. So you just want to be really cautious as far as using students and whether you have a release to use them. If there's something that comes up and you can't use students, you could just use one-on-one with a student from the back as well. Just let me know and we can definitely work with you on this. Article summaries, this is where you're going to summarize in 2 to 3 pages different types of articles that you've read. They need to be journal articles, and you need to do your citations in APA style formatting. I will provide a link to the Purdue OWL, which is the resource I use to do all my APA citations. And lastly, extra resources. This can be one of the nastiest pages in the entire portfolio because it tends to be a place where people dump things and they don't really categorize or make things organized. So make sure you're very strategic about organizing this page. It tends to be a free-for-all, and it really can be as far as what you want to dump into it, but I really would love to see it organized. Another thing I would cite people on from the past is when you are going to be listing presentations and videos of you providing training, these 2 areas up in here, you really want to be cautious because you don't want to just provide the video. You need to provide feedback for the person who's going to click on it, i.e. your peer reviewer or myself or a potential employer. What are they getting ready to see? Do you have a title? Do I know that I'm going to watch training of you doing X, Y, and Z, and then maybe a small synopsis of what you're actually doing. Just a couple sentences helps the reader or the viewer know what they're about ready to watch, and maybe they don't want to watch it. So this gives them a nice little preview or a preset as to what you are doing inside that video or presentation. So just a little bit of explanation, I guess is what I'm saying, is really, really good. So that gets into the evidence of your activities. The reports, this is going to change slightly. This faculty evaluation tool is what I will use to actually evaluate your portfolio. So it's setting out here for you to see exactly what I'm looking for and what I'll be grading on. As well, I will reproduce this, and this will be the document that you're going to use to peer evaluate each other. So this area where it says reports will have faculty evaluation and peer evaluation tool. They'll look very similar, but what you will do is you'll actually download it. You'll go out and evaluate someone else's site. You'll share your evaluation with them, and then they can upload this right back up into their portfolio as evidence that they've had a peer review. And I think peer review is essential. It's just critical. It's sometimes scary, but it's definitely necessary, and it's very, very common. In most practices, we just in education tend not to really like peer review. So I'm going to challenge you with a peer review. And lastly, you're going to do a reflection. This is really telling for me as a facilitator of this course. When I was asking you earlier underneath your personal information with your goals and professional and personal goals, I wanted you to go ahead and complete the exploration stage before you begin filling in your portfolio. So what I'm going to ask you to do in this tutorial is to start a Google Doc, and I would like you to call it like 885 reflection. And you can go ahead and copy and paste the information 1 through 5 straight into that Google Doc. At that point, what I would like you to do is go ahead and write your exploration stage. It's that pre-information, the pre-feelings, the prejudice, the beliefs that you have just going into this process. And I want you to be honest about how you feel about this process. And then you're going to leave that and you're going to come back to this at the end of this process and fill out 2 through 5. And really be in tune with what happened prior so you can see this reflectivity and kind of this growth that goes through the development of your portfolio. So as you begin this, I would love you to do the exploration stage before you even start filling in your portfolio. I believe that's all I have for you. If you have questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. One of the things I've stated before is I do not want you to ask to change the template. If I'm grading 28 e-portfolios, the templates all need to stay the same. When the course is over, you get your own copy of the site, and you can do whatever you want with it and design it and change it and create it in a way that functions well for you. But at this point, it needs to stay the same. The other thing I can't stress enough, I think I've said 2, maybe 3 times, is that you need to make sure all of your documents are accessible. They should not be locked for view only. They should be opened up for comment or even editing. And then once we've done our reviews, myself and your peer, you can go back and change those to can view, so they're secure documents. But for this time, please make sure anything you share, whether it's on the community or inside your portfolio, it is ready and viewable. There's nothing more stressful than having time to go out and really grade and spend time with your students and looking at their materials and not being able to access anything. So I would definitely say that. Another thing in this process is use your peers, use your colleagues at school, find an expert in your school, in your district, go out and do your research. And use each other to develop these tools. There's nothing wrong with sharing materials. There's nothing wrong with sharing ideas and giving each other feedback. That's what genuinely makes our product better and makes us better as a person. So I would definitely stress that. And I know that during this process, there's going to be times you're going to say, I've never done this. I don't know what this is. That's where I'm urging you to go out and research, find several examples, find the theories behind them, compare them with what's going on in your school, and then develop the tool. Even a tech philosophy, go out and ask Google, what is a tech philosophy? Look at different examples and then say, well, where do I fit in? What do I want mine to look like? Or what do I believe in? And how do I want to basically work myself through this process? So again, I'm going to leave you. I would like for you to do the exploration stage and put that in a Google Doc. And now you have access to your own portfolio. And if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, just let me know and I am happy to help you. Take care and have a great day. Bye.